This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Dabrowka. This map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game mod hub, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Now this is another map by Tomix, and he has been, well, known as of late for his Polish maps with beautiful Polish style. We had two maps the other week, one released one after the other, and this makes at least his third map in the Giants mod hub. Let's read a little bit of the description. Welcome to the fictional village of Dabrowka in Poland. There are two farms with placeable buildings in the map. You can breed cows or pigs. The map also has 8 selling points, 2 villages, 2 forests, seasons mask, 105 fields in different sizes, and his signature beautiful Polish style. So I have to say, I think this might be his best map to date. He is getting better with every map he is putting out, in my opinion. Go ahead and load up the mods that we typically use when we take a look at these maps. I did just find out that additional field info has been updated to support precision farming. So we're going to start adding that one back here. Just got to make sure it is updated on this particular folder. And there we go. Go ahead and pull up the log. Watch the map load up. If you do load this map up in start from scratch or farm manager mode, none of the buildings at either farm are placed, but the starting equipment is there. It's kind of an interesting deal where the buildings are gone, but the equipment is still there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map itself. Zoom on out. You'll see we start here kind of in the middle of the map. We're at the cow farm. To the north, we have the pig farm. So we have all of our standard crops available to us here on Farm Sim 19. If we take a look at the lands area, you see we start out by owning both farms, the cow farm and the pig farm, as well as fields 102, 24, 42, 81, 79, and 80. Now, if we take a look at some of the other land prices around, well, big old field 29 is $303,000 for nearly 8 hectares of crop or of ground. Field 76 is $312,000 for 6.8 hectares of size. Field 20, 1.69 hectares, $66,000. Field 71, $38,000, 0.92 hectares. So there's fields of all various sizes here for the players. So if you want to play some small fields, you've got those. If you want to play some bigger fields, you've got those. And of course, you can always start merging these Polish fields together, should you so wish. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the soil map. We believe this map has a default soil map to it. You can see how the default soil map is laid out here with all of these fields. We have really good exposure over the entire map, other than the forested area and the unbuyables. Now let's go back to the lands and just take a look at the buyable land again. So we do have some forest here that runs along the main road and some forest scattered around the map, but there are places that are not buyable, like this big forested area down here. By 59 is not buyable, and the main drag here, the road, is not buyable between the towns, nor is the town land or the areas here that are sell points. That is also not buyable. Take a look at our sell points. We have 3 main sell points for the bulk of our grain crops. We also have a dedicated sell point for our root crops. We have a spinnery for our cotton and wool. The spinnery also is going to be accepting our milk and eggs. You have the sawmill for our wood chips and logs. There is no buyable BGA on this particular map. We have the barn for silage, hay, straw, and grass. And then Paul's farm is going to accept our manure and slurry, whereas the barn, if we're playing with straw harvest, is going to be our sell point for our pellets. See, we start with a modest list of equipment, all new, well maintained. None of it is leased, no animals to begin with, and we do have contracts available on the map. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our starting equipment. Start out with Massey Ferguson 5610 and the Case IH 7210 Pro. So our tractor's range in horsepower from 105 to 170 horsepower. We have the New Holland TX32 Harvester that is paired with the TX32 grain header, with the AgriLiner TKD 302 trailer, the Colmer L300 cultivator, the Agrimaz Salvis 3800 seeder. Then we have a front loader arms, pallet fork, and then we go into the placeable buildings. Everything on the farms is placeable. It all exists in new farmer mode, but as I said, in farm manager or start from scratch, the farms are barren of buildings. The only thing that exists is the border fence and the gates and whatever trees might be on the land, but all of the buildings are buyable and sellable. So we have the cow pasture, the pig enclosure, large grain silo, a smaller grain silo. We have our bunker silo. We have some gas triggers. We have some storage buildings, old shed. Then we have our brickwork. We've seen this in Tomix maps where the decorative brick here at the farm is sellable. We've got farm decals, farm decoration, and then the pair of farmhouses. Go take a look at the placeables. You'll see that we do have the cow and pig pasture. We also have our gas station. We have our custom silos. And interesting enough, under decoration, we have the storage buildings and decals. And again, continuing the trend with the Tomix maps, he doesn't put his sheds under sheds. He puts them under decorations, as we've seen. And we do have the buyable farmhouses that we have here on the map. So here is our cow sleep trigger right here at the farm. And keeping with Tomix's maps, we have those deeper shadows that we typically see. So we do have some custom lighting going on here. Some people don't like the darker shadows. That can be a turnoff for some. Go ahead and kind of walk around here and check the cow area out. So we do use the animal pen extension mod, and part of the animal pen extension mod is on PC, the automatic milk sales machine. This is a milk sales machine, so this helps us identify where our milk sell trigger is. So this is where we're going to come to sell our milk. And of course, you can get into this and basically move it around and position it wherever you want. Side of here, we have our food trough and our straw trigger. Now, in fact, the straw trigger seems to encompass almost the entire floor, even out here to the fringes. So you might be able to get a little bit of a straw trigger right here along the edge. You have our animal buy and deliver trigger right here, front of the gate. This particular cow pen will hold 200 cows. Continue on around the back. Got a pair of gates here. This is where the cows are going to walk to and fro. We have our slurry trigger. We have our manure pile. And then we have the water trough. Again, the blue pipe is a part of the animal pen extension mod. It is not here unless you do use the animal pen extension mod. So on the other side of the barbed wire, we do have our silage pit. Water trigger. We have our fuel. And inside of here we have various storage. To the back, we have the small shed. We do have our silo here. We have our dump point and our fill pipe. Then, as I said, this gate and the fencing that runs along the street is still here in Farm Manager or Start from Scratch, but all of the buildings themselves are not. And that is pretty much the starting farm. Go ahead and get set up for our fly around. Then we're going to take an aerial view of the entire map. And then we'll come back to the shop and start our drive around. Take a look at things from a little lower level. A little bit of altitude here, and then we'll just do a little pan action. So we can see we've got some nice rolling hills across the fields. And like I said, thinking back to the other Tomix maps, I think this one takes the cake so far as being, in my opinion, the nicest of the three. We don't have the continuous map border like we had on the other maps, but what we do have of the map, really do like what I see here. So just past the cow farm, which again is right down here, we have a lot of various sell points. So within here, we have a lime station, we have a grain sell point, we have our barn sell point, we have our animal dealer, and we have our shop. So we will be going over those in a lot more detail when we come back to the shop. I come out this way a little bit and then loop around. Love to hear your all's views and thoughts on this particular map from just what you're seeing here. So through the road here, we've got a few sell points. Again, we're going to take a much closer look at all of these sell points once we get to the drive around. Then this forest here is buyable. This is a buyable piece of land. Like I said, the main road there and then the town areas, it is not buyable. Go ahead and kind of rotate around here. And then up in this direction, we've got some more sell points. We've got a root crop sell point there. Got another grain sell point, and then right across from the grain sell point is our pig farm, which again, we're going to take a closer look when we circle back, get in our Mahindra, and do our drive around. Now, we do have some utility poles that are inside of these field boundaries, so let's just see. Do they have collisions? They do not have collisions, so we'll just check one more. See if we warp right through it. We do indeed. So you don't have to worry about hired helpers with these utility poles. Just be able to motor right on through them. And again, clear the trees, plow up this little grass area between these fields, should you so wish to make some much larger fields with your gameplay here. Come on into town. Saying I'm kind of mixed on the deeper shadows. Kind of like it. Kind of like how things look with it. But at the same point, I know, I'd probably end up walking around with the flashlight on a lot. I do like kind of the the increased contrast from being in the sun and then out of the sun. Got our New Holland dealership here. Got our shop trigger and our customized repair and sell trigger right here. See where all this stuff spawns in at? Right there we go. And it happens to spawn in right at the bale trigger. This is going to be our silage, hay, straw, and grass sell point. Then we have one of our grain sell points right here. We have our animal dealer right there. We have our lime buy point right there. And then around the corner, we have a water trigger. And then our spinnery, which again is also going to be our sell point for our milk and eggs. Come on back this way and hop in that Mahindra. Check out the sell points here in the lower town. Drive up to the north. Check out the pair of sell points that are up there, as well as pig farm. I'll head out here and make a left. And then we're going to come to our first sell point, which is our sawmill. One more entry down. There we go. So we have our log sell point and our wood chip sell point right there. And then we have a few doors down. We have Jack's farm, and then a few doors down we have Paul's farm. Now Jack, he got the good end of the stick because he is wanting to buy our crops, our grain crops in particular. Paul's farm, well, let's just say he kind of got the back end of things in that he is the dealer in our manure and slurry. Two doors down. And we have our dump point for manure and slurry there. It's kind of mosey up the road. Kind of just want to take the sights in and the really nice colors here. I do like this map. I do like the coloring of the map. I think I could live with the shadows. The larger contrast between the sun and shade. So here to our right we have our cow farm. Leave town and kind of open up to the country road. Our big farm fields to the right, with a windy river and some more wild terrain to our left. some more general farmland. Into the next town. And here we have another water trigger. And we have some root crop sell point, just as we enter town. And then right across from Pig Farm, have the last sell point, which is another grain sell point right here. Go over here and check out the pigs. Sheds here. We've got our sleep trigger. There. And we have our pig area, so we have our water trough. We have our manure pile. We have our straw. We have food. Here's our fuel. We do have some functional storage inside the pig pen. Around back, we have our silo. We have our dump and fill pipe. We have our slurry. And then right here is where we're going to get our pigs. 50 pigs in this particular pen. Right there. There he is, Mr. Porky Pig. Now, let's go ahead and just check the animals and see if they have any unique food requirements. Everything looks pretty stock and standard. So there you go, guys. That is Dabrowka. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of the map? Like I said, I think this is Tomix's best outing so far. But again, that is my personal opinion. I'll be curious and hear what your all's personal opinions are on this map compared to his other maps and compared to some of the other Polish maps in general. So next time, happy farming. Be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell.